Welcome back to the weekly stock market portfolio updates. This week's video is going to be a bit different, as I will still go through my overall stock portfolio as it has broken $135,000, but I'm also going to be talking about my potential investment into property. Overall, this has been a good journey on here on my YouTube channel. It has gotten a bit slack recently as I have been traveling. I just did get back from the United States, but I promise to get back onto my usual upload schedule as I do these videos just to kind of keep myself consistent and track my progress over time with investing. Overall, one of the goals of this portfolio and these videos was to build wealth, and one of the other ways of doing this, other than just stocks and shares, is through property. And that's one of the dilemmas I'm going through at the moment, as I am saving up to purchase my first investment property. I did recently speak with a mortgage broker, and just to get a kind of a better understanding of where I am financially, and I think it's potentially time towards the end of this year, start of next year, where I will be looking to purchase my first property, but with that does potentially come selling of some of my shares. And whilst we're on that topic, you can see my two stock portfolio positions. So my first one is with Vanguard, and that's sitting at around $66,000. I have around 55,000 in my international shares ETF and around 11,000 in my Australian companies ETF. I did also recently just get a dividend that will be coming in around $276, as you can see. A bit smaller than I expected, but we'll talk about that later. And if we have a look at my stake portfolio, you can see that's sitting at just under 70 grand now. I'm up around 42% or $20,800. And if we have a look at my holdings, you can see nothing's changed. I did recently just get a dividend from VOO. So VOO is my biggest position in this portfolio. This just tracks the S&P 500, and I have over $20,000 invested into VOO. But I want to go to the main topic of this video that I'm doing, and that is potentially my investment into property. So whilst I've been showing you guys my Excel spreadsheet for a long time, and you can see things have been very much up and to the right. But whilst I've been doing that, I have always had in the back of my mind that I am looking to invest and diversify into property as well, which does mean I might have to sell out of one of my portfolios or a portion of them. So I've been kind of weighing up what I'm looking to sell, what I'm looking to keep. I'll give a bit more updates on that going forward, but that's kind of one of the benefits that I've been able to accumulate through investing in shares, is I've been able to build up a pretty strong deposit. Like if I was to sell all of my shares, I'd obviously have $135,000, probably some tax to pay on that as well. So maybe not the full amount, but in total, it's still a lot of money to be able to have saved that I can use as a deposit. In reality, I don't want to sell the whole $135,000 as that does hurt. And I do want to keep some shares for the long term. I want to diversify. I don't just want to be 100% into one property. So potentially I've been looking up, if I am going to sell a position, it probably is going to be my VLC, which is my Australian shares ETF. So that's around $11,000. So that will help towards my deposit, but obviously it won't do enough. So I will have to take money from other places as well. So that's where I'm kind of tossing and turning. Where do I want to sell? There's some positions here, obviously like Apple, which I could sell out of and get a bit of extra cash. Costco, but overall these positions are too small for it to really make a big impact. The ones where the majority of the money is sitting is obviously VOO and VGS. So if I do have to sell out of more positions, do I sell out of my Vanguard account? Do I sell out of my stake portfolio? But that's kind of the decisions I'll have to make as I kind of enter this next step. My goal is to put a adequate enough deposit there. Obviously I'll speak with my mortgage broker and accountant and things like that. Obviously, this isn't financial advice, this is just me kind of brainstorming my own personal situation. And I'll think what is the best option to do going forward. But yeah, when I look at properties in my area, majority of the properties are sitting at around that I can realistically afford in the 700,000s. So I'd be going for it by myself with no other borrowers and no guarantor or anything like that. So I don't want to stretch myself too far for where it's killing all my cash flow, as I still do want to be investing into shares overall. This just means potentially going forward, I'll be able to invest less money into my stocks and shares. So instead of the aggressive investing I've been doing for the last 5 years, I might have to tone it down a little bit, but my goal would still be to invest, whether that be $500 a week, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever I can, into my share portfolio, because at the end of the day, even if I do cut it down, I still want to see this portfolio grow. It's been such a good journey tracking this through the highs and lows. It's really taught me a lot, and yeah, I still think shares is such a good way long term to be invested. If we do have a look at my share portfolios, my Vanguard account and my stake account have been growing quite well this year. If we start with my stake account, this is nearly at $70,000, and keep in mind I've barely been investing in this portfolio. This has mainly just been capital gains from some of my positions that I really had high conviction in, such as Google. I have videos on this channel of when I was buying Google on the dip, when it was down in like the 160s. You can see my average share price is 164. It's now traded up to $245 a share, which is crazy. It's up 68% in the last 6 months. So really good investment if you were buying during that really big downturn. This is around the 140s. I wasn't able to purchase then. I didn't really have much capital then, but if you were purchasing then, you've done really well for yourself. I'm up around 50%, which is still really good, especially since I've only been growing this position recently. So I had a smaller position, but it only really got up to this 8,300. Keep in mind that's USD, not too long ago. So it's been really good gains for me. Other stocks that have done quite well recently is the likes of Apple. I did sell out of a lot of Apple, but if you look in the last 6 months, it's up 37%, which is pretty great. Obviously, I still get exposure to Apple in my ETFs and some of my other holdings, so I still have Apple in my portfolio. Some of the other stocks that I've been in that haven't been doing as well is Costco. So in the last 6 months, it's pretty much flat. But whilst other positions I've gone up, you've really been losing. And if we just look at the last month alone, if this ever loads, sorry. Okay, it doesn't look like that's going to load. But yeah, I'm still up around 60%, and I only have $1,200 invested because I did sell out over half my position. And yeah, you can see it's down basically 4.5% in the last month, which is not very good. Some of my other holdings, which I still have strong conviction on, is the likes of Amazon. Amazon's had a bad month, down around 6%. But again, I'm still a long-term investor in Amazon, and I'm still up around 11.75%. So hopefully that will do well for me as well in the long run. And then obviously the likes of Microsoft has done all right recently. And then VOO, so the overall S&P 500. If we have a look in the last month, it's up nearly 3.8%, which is very good. And in the last 6 months, it's up 32%, because obviously this is when there was really big pullbacks around, I believe that might have been Liberation Day. But yeah, if you were investing during that dip, you've done very well for yourself. If we have a look at my Vanguard account, you can see VGS, which is my biggest position across the two portfolios, sitting at nearly 55,000, has done quite well as well. That's at nearly $152 a share. And like VOO, it's tracked pretty similar, as it does have very similar holdings. And then VLC is sitting around $87, so that hasn't done quite as well. That's why it's probably the position I'm looking to sell. I don't really see the same growth in that ETF as I do in my other stocks. But you can see this position's done 23% in the last year, which is really good, with strong quarterly dividends. So I've been very happy with my investments here. When there was that dip during April, I was heavily investing in my Vanguard portfolio, and that's kind of allowed me to really see these growth that I'm seeing right now. So it's been a really good holding for me, and something that I do want to hold going forward. Overall though, with these portfolio gains, I knew there would be a point where I would potentially have to sell. So that's what I'm kind of weighing up. Again, I think the majority of the selling will probably come from my Vanguard account. I'll definitely sell that 11,000 that I have in my Australian shares. But when it comes to my US shares, I'm kind of weighing up positions I might sell. So feel free to share in the comments any positions you think, or what your thoughts are on my current positions and where you think I could get liquidity. But again, I'm not looking to buy next week or anything, so I still do have extra time to build up savings just through my normal job. And I do have some other savings saved up, but it is quite expensive to buy property here in Australia. So that's kind of been my thought process. And then if we have a look at my other investments, like I said, I was away, that's why I haven't posted a video in 3 weeks. But just the update for end of September, you can see it was pretty good, another month of growth. So there was around $1,300 in growth in my stake, and then around, almost to you say like 3,000 nearly $4,000 in my Vanguard account. So you can see that's why it's been so up and to the right, because things have really been doing well. And that's the benefits of being in the market over long periods of time. Hence why I'm hesitant to sell some of my shares. But overall, that's kind of how the two stock portfolios are sitting. In terms of dividends, I will update this, but only at the end of the month. So whilst I will be getting that 276 in my Vanguard account, and I just received, I think it was around 50 USD in my stake portfolio, I will update that here. I think that was my biggest ever dividend in my stake portfolio, so that's pretty exciting. And then all my dividends will be reinvested back into the portfolio, as I've always done historically. And then hopefully this year I can make over $2,000 in dividends. I think this was kind of my last big dividends. So if we look at it, total Vanguard dividends will be over 1,600, and that's AUD. And then my USD, if you add another 50, so almost 190. So I think I'll be getting close to that $2,000 mark, which will be pretty exciting. And yeah, like I said, it's all been reinvested back into my portfolio as I try to get that snowball effect happening. But yeah, that's just a bit of an update on how things have been looking for me. Yeah, sorry I haven't been posting any videos, but I will try to get more consistent. It's just been very busy with studies or work and travel. But yeah, that's how things are looking. Feel free to share how your portfolios are looking in the comments, and that's all for now.